So that I've sat back and I've listened to that and I'm like, what does that really mean? And what do they really mean by data? Well, if you think about lead generation is what do they mean when they say like all the data that is being compiled right now is worth more than all the oil on the earth, right? That's a statement that I've heard now multiple times, right? So that I've sat back and I've listened to that and I'm like, what does that really mean? And what do they really mean by data? Well, if you think about lead generation is actually just selling data, selling information, right? Whether that's the form of a phone call or the form of a lead that gets pushed in. Bottom line is you guys are in the data and information space. You're in the business of selling information to a willing party that is looking to have that information before all of its competitors, right? So everything I'm talking about really applies directly to lead generation. So, right off the bat, thinking through those things, some of those things I think we need to really look at a little bit closer. And what I mean by that is, how well are you watching the speed at which your customers are getting back to the leads that you're sending them? Remember, they're your leads, not theirs. That's number one. How much do you pay attention to the speed at which you are, or these customers are following up or staying on top of your leads, right? A lot of times I don't think we're actually all that cognizant of it because we don't really see an intrinsic value, right? Our whole thing is like, well, if we can generate the lead, which we know we can, like there's so many of us in here that have been doing this for so long, that's not the end of the game, right? I think a lot of us think that, hey, well, once Dan teaches me how to generate a lead, then that's all she wrote. And that's definitely not the case, right? Because now you got to start optimizing, right? And what I mean, I don't mean optimizing like search engine optimization like we normally hear of it, right? I mean optimizing your process, optimizing the strategy at which you deliver. Optimizing the redundancies after it's delivered to potentially, if something wasn't to work out with the first person that you sent it to, not just letting that piece of data, that information of a lead just sit there and get stale because you didn't think through these. So right off the bat, guys, I want to kind of start challenging you guys to think maybe just a touch differently than you have up until this point. I think that all of us, whether you're brand new and just hearing this for the first time, or you've been in this group for 4, 5, 6 years, I think that every one of us could probably take a step back and for the next day, week, what have you, study on some ways that we can make our businesses run just that much smoother, that much faster, that much quicker, and how we can get information into the hands of people as rapidly as possible, right? And by the way, how we can get our information as rapidly as possible as well.